What is up, everybody? I'm NoLucksGiven, and today we're going to be taking a look at Morgan Le Fay. And I think that Morgan is secretly actually really powerful right now. The thing is, when you get that first treasure with Morgan, a lot of the times you're level 4 or level 5. And level 4 and level 5 treasures are really good right now because that gives you access to Horn of Olympus and Evil Eye, two really powerful treasures that are also really good in a few different endgame board comps. And even if you don't find those treasures exactly, you still have access to Sky Castle, which can give you additional chances to find Horn of Olympus, or treasures like Fool's Gold and Staff of the Old Toad, which give you additional econ, which you can use to try to find Horn of Olympus and Staff of the Old Toad. So I think that Morgan is currently the best that she's ever been, with the possibility of finding those treasures. And even if you don't find any of those exact ones, just taking other tier 4 and tier 5 treasures decreases the pool for the next tier 5 and tier 4 treasure that you find, so that way you can maybe find that horn and that evil eye. So that's kind of the idea. That's what we're playing for. I generally do try to stay as strong as I can with Morgan. Don't try to lose life in any capacity unless I really want a treasure in the end game or something. The thing that she really allows you to do, though, is just take a little bit more risk. And with that, have kind of that safety cushion of, okay, I'm going to take some risk right now, and if it works out, great, like something like a Polywoggle, you know, and or doom rolling for like River Wish Mermaid. And then if it doesn't work out, then at the very least you get a free treasure from it. So that's kind of the idea. That's how I like to play her. We have taken some damage to start some things out, but we get that bonus 5 life, which I'm still not sure if that's a buff or not. Because I think it even happens in this game too, that we get to like 23 health and we would have had our treasure a turn sooner. So that part is always a little bit awkward with the hero, but nonetheless, we'll take it. We'll take the extra health. We're going to take a little bit more damage as well and drop down to 34. So I guess we can make some use out of that. I'll wind up picking up a third pair and then rolling just a little bit. Could have just picked up the donkey. I could have seen that too, but with 2 different tier 2 pairs, I thought that it was still a pretty reasonable idea to roll for this turn. And then here I just wind up casting the Potion of Heroism on Ogre Princess. Could have gone for Polywoggle, and then there's also a Sleeping Princess in the shop along with that potion. Those could have been fine pickups for next turn, but ultimately just going to see where these ogres bring me and try to get some slays in with those ladies. So that's the idea, and I think that that's kind of like a risk in itself, roll in a little bit, and again, like if we hit, great, then we're in a really powerful spot, and if we miss, then I think that we'll still wind up being okay. We're going to take a little bit more damage, and we aren't able to crack my opponent's prized pig there quite yet, but then we see another interesting aspect to Morgan. We're at 28 health right now, so might as well pick up some XP. And then if we take damage in the combat, actually, I don't always remember how this works. If you take damage in the combat, I think you would get the treasure for the next level anyways, but still, buying some XP on the hero I think is generally pretty good, because then you can potentially grab higher tier treasures. I'll have to double check on that though. I think that if we were to have lost this combat and dropped below 20, without picking up the XP, then we still would have gotten a tier 4 treasure. But it's been a while since I've played Morgan. I think I brought this up at the beginning of this video, but I haven't really played her in a while, and am kind of just playing her because I recently purchased the new hero skin. No, I didn't bring this up yet. Yeah, I unlocked Morgan because I wanted to play this new hero skin because, let's just pause this for a second, I really wanted to... Is this going to show up? All right, I got to minimize this. I really wanted access to this emote, which is Morgan Le Fay with her fingers crossed. So I figured I would buy this skin, and now you can put your emotes on whenever even you're not playing the hero, but it was still a good excuse to play the hero nonetheless. We'll wind up picking up an Ogre Princess here, and then Bad Moon isn't super terrible if we're going to wind up going into Slay. Oh yeah, here you can see that we are at 21 health. So we could have grabbed a tier 4 treasure, just a little bit awkward there. If we could find like a forbidden fruit or something, that'd be really cool. But for right now, I'm just gonna pick up a Bad Moon, and then I'm gonna pick up another Turkish Delight. And again, this is because I'm kind of expecting to lose this combat, and then we'll grab a free tier 5 treasure. And at this time, in this current game, I'm not actually planning on like forcing Slay. I know I picked up the Bad Moon, but that also kind of goes along well with the Ogre Princess. But the idea here is also that there's a lot of tier 5 treasures that just provide a lot of tempo to the board. You've got Drax Saber, you've got Sword of Fire and Ice, you've got Monkey's Paw, and my opponent has an Empress P somehow on 4.0, so we are definitely losing this combat. But that aside, there's a lot of really good tier 5 treasures that can just help you get back in the game. And we see a really good one right here in Monkey's Paw. As much as I'd love to just pick up this Evil Eye, I think that we should probably play for just board strength and pick up +5/+5, which is +30/+30 worth of stats to the rest of our board. I think that that's going to be a lot better for us. And then after we do that, then we can pursue some other fun options like picking up this Lady of the Lake and this Lancelot, which are just going to be strong characters and will potentially allow us to find another tier 5 treasure. And that's kind of the idea here. Didn't really bring that one up in the intro, but here we are bringing it up now. The tier 5 treasures that provide additional stats as tempo can also kind of act as tier 5 treasures that help you find other tier 5 treasures because of the existence of Lancelot. And I guess Nutcracker, though, probably not messing around with Nutcracker too much. I mean, again, the flexibility of Morgan in that you can take a little bit more risk, that allows you to pursue Nutcracker, but for the most part, you're not going to want to mess with it too much. But we are going to be strong enough here to start winning combats again, thanks to Monkey's Paw, and now Lancelot is basically active. It got the Slay, and it's got a whole bunch of extra stats from Lady of the Lake and the Bad Moon as well, so it's already up to 26 health, and that's going to give us another tier 5 treasure on what is technically 4.2. So feeling pretty good. I think that we've turned some things around nicely in this game. A little bit awkward that we were unable to pick up the Masquerade Ball there because we didn't have, or that we'd already cast the Luna's Grace. That would have been a really nice Masquerade Ball, but then I'm just gonna lock onto another Lady of the Lake, and I think that that'll be really good for us. We're potentially double slaying this turn with Ogre Princess, and we're at the very least grabbing another treasure from Lancelot. I would like to pick up some River Wish Mermaids eventually, but it's a little bit not great. Like, I'm just playing for board strength again here now, and we'll worry about trying to make those more greedy plays once we have built a little bit more of a lead. And we're definitely feeling pretty strong now, but we can still get stronger. I don't remember if we just were able to slay with the Ogre or not, but we're going to be strong enough to win this combat, and that's the important thing. And yeah, we weren't able to slay with the Ogre, but we are able to pick up Staff of the Old Toad, which is one of the treasures that I mentioned at the beginning of this video. Then we triple Lady of the Lake and grab the Horn of Olympus, so we're going to have to toss one of these treasures, and it's probably going to have to be the Monkey's Paw. And I'm hoping that we are just strong enough right now with Horn alongside some of these other things that we got going on here, that we've got two pretty reasonable backline supports. And then I also kind of like the fact that now we can play 7 characters again, and Horn of Olympus, Monkey's Paw isn't really a combo because you don't get the full value out of Horn when you're only playing 6 units. So it's kind of comparable here. We will be able to have an absolutely massive Wombats and a pretty big Friendly Spirit at that as well. So I'm hoping that this is going to be enough to get us through. Lancelot is going to slay against my opponent's Chupacabra, and then Ogre Princess also going to slay and grab us some free tier 5 characters. And I think we'll wind up taking a little bit of damage here. Unfortunately, we're not going to take enough damage that we drop down to below 5 health. And yeah, again, if we had 5 less health, we'd actually be doing a lot better this game because we would have had access to another tier 6 treasure here, so that would have been sweet, but unfortunate. At this point, I really want to try to find a Jormungand, and Empress P also seeming pretty sweet on a board like this, and then we also have the chance to pick up Evil Eye with 2 different options. We've got Wombats in Disguise and we've got Baba Yaga. I'm gonna go for the Wombats triple since Baba Yaga doesn't actually improve our board by that much. And then I'm gonna pick up either Hand of Midas or Evil Eye. It's a really, really tough call, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pick up Emperor's P. That's going to upgrade it thanks to the Hand of Midas, and then I'm going to pick up the Baba Yaga and hope that we can get Evil Eye that way. And if it doesn't work, it's a little bit unfortunate because we just tossed our Staff of the Old Toad, but I'm going to give it a shot. We will have enough stats on this board thanks to the Wombats in Disguise giving us an absolutely massive Princess Peep, and that winds up being pretty good for us. That's going to just barely allow us to survive, but that's all we need. And now hopefully we can do some massive things. We pick up the Empress, we pick up the Baba Yaga, and we grab the Evil Eye. So now we have Evil Eye, Horn of Olympus with an Empress P. All that we are missing is a River Wish Mermaid, but honestly, things are looking pretty good here. I'm gonna wind up cutting the Ogre Princess just because I don't want to play it too greedy at this point in the game. I do still want to find a Jormungand, and I definitely want to find a River Wish Mermaid as well. And then I'll also want to replace this Lady of the Lake at some point, potentially even with like a Boomhilda. Just something that gives my Empress P a little bit more chances to slay. So those are the 4 units that I'm currently looking for. 1 more support, I'll take basically any support, and then a Jormungand to replace this Friendly Spirit. Could also potentially replace these Wombats with some type of flying character or Medusa like Lightning Dragon or Doom Breath, but otherwise, I think that we are doing pretty well, and I can't really put that Lightning Dragon in until we find the River Wish Mermaid. So first things first, that's what we are going to be looking for, but we are plenty powerful enough to take out Geppetto. You got to remember, we're still up XP. That opponent was on 5.2, and we're hitting them with upgraded Princess P, plus Horn of Olympus, plus Evil Eye. So stuff's going really, really well for us. There's the Doom Breath, but we don't quite have the other means to turn it into a slay unit, so I don't really think I can go for that just yet. Could go for Kidnap, that's kind of cool. Maybe we could steal my opponent's Empress P, but at 8 health, I'm feeling like that might be a little bit of a risk, but you do have to remember that this is the Fates player that had the Empress P themselves, and here I kind of had a tough decision to make, but ultimately I'm going to go for the River Wish Mermaid, and then I'm even going to sell 2 characters and just put a few more stats on Empress P before the combat starts. Could have put that on the Friendly Spirit or the Wombats as well, but I'm gonna go for it like this. But it could have been really, really nice to kidnap the Empress. Just felt it was too big of a risk, and we would have stolen a Juliet there, so definitely not worth it. Is really, really awesome that we get the slay here with Empress. I'm gonna go ahead and fire off that fingers crossed emoji. There we go, that was super lucky. Now we have an absolutely massive Empress, and I think we just won the game with that little move right there. Our support characters all die before the Empress does, but we also take the Fates out as well. And now we're feeling really strong, and there's me indicating the 2 units that I want to replace next. I'll replace the Friendly Spirit with a Jormungand, and still potentially looking to replace this Lady of the Lake as well. We could cut the wombats for a lightning dragon. We could sell the two things off on our bench, but I don't think that's as great as some of the other options that we can do. And then I'm going to wind up just ending off the turn by casting a Queen's Grace onto Empress P, just to give it +7/+7 more worth of stats. I don't know what this Pied Piper is up to, and I'd rather just play it safe rather than sorry, because we're doing pretty good right now, and I don't want to mess up this incredible lead. But I think that we're good with that Slay of Empress P next turn, and it looks like we will be, as all of our characters are just bigger than my opponents. They have a very, very similar board. Mine's just a lot bigger, and we have a Jormungand, so we are definitely going to be winning this one. They will get in one ranged attack, but we still have an absolutely massive Empress. We're going to get our own massive ranged unit in the front line here, and again, my opponent is going to be unable to even take out the Empress P. Maybe they will eventually as we slowly attack in with everything, but no, eventually we will get the kill, and then we are on to the finals. And from here, don't have too much more that we're trying to replace. I'd really just replace the Lady of the Lake with another Baba Yaga, or I mean, we don't really even need the Boomhilda at this point, but River Wish Mermaid I will take, because that's going to give everything so many more slays, like an incredibly so many more number of slays. And at this point, I don't cast the spell because I think the only thing that really improves my position here is Hermes Magic Beans to get that first attack. We do see another Baba Yaga, but honestly, I think that this game is a foregone conclusion at this point. I'll throw up the fingers crossed emoji one more time, and we'll see how big my opponent is. And we're way bigger. They do have some Empress Ps as well, but our Empress P is basically bigger than their entire board, and that's going to be enough to help us find the win here. Really, really powerful game, and I definitely think that Morgan had a huge part in it. All she gave us was the Monkey's Paw, but the Monkey's Paw gave us this Lancelot activation, which gave us the Staff of the Old Toad, which gave us all of the other crazy things that we were able to do this game. We're going to have to watch this combat play out for a little bit longer as my River Wish Mermaids attack in before the Lancelot finishes it off. But then that is going to be it for this one. And yeah, just a really powerful game. It's also, like, I want to say it's not a fluke as well. This was a game where I actually didn't grab a horn or a staff, and a horn or an evil eye or a staff, or a fool's gold, or any of those other things that I mentioned. But we were still able to do some incredibly, incredibly powerful stuff with a Lancelot and a Princess P, both up in the 300s, and obviously just really incredible with all of that. So that's going to be it for me today, guys. Thank you very much for watching. I'm NoLucksGiven. Peace.